This is Audible.
Simon & Schuster Audio presents The Fourth Option, a thriller by Jack Carr and M.P. Woodward. Read by Ray Porter.
For Tom Davin, October 4th, 1957, September 1st, 2025. Recon Marine, executive, husband, father, mentor, and friend. And for all the local, state, and federal law enforcement officers who hold the line each and every day. Now Roman is to Roman more hateful than a foe, and the tribunes beard the high and the fathers grind the low. As we wax hot in faction, in battle we wax cold. Wherefore men fight not as they fought in the brave days of old. Thomas Babington Macaulay, Horatius. Preface. I have long wanted to set a novel in New Orleans. The history, music, architecture, cuisine, festivals, cemeteries, superstitions, and fusion of French, Spanish, African, and Caribbean cultures make it an appealing backdrop for the action and suspense of a thriller. I first visited New Orleans while in SEAL qualification training. I remember doing our last static line jump of the week in Southern California and then zipping to the airport to meet friends for Jazz Fest in the Big Easy. I went back with my first SEAL platoon while we were training a few hours away at the Joint Readiness Training Center at Fort Polk. New Orleans is a city that stays with you. The Fourth Option is a blend of the crime, political, and military thriller genres with an underlying foundation that comes from experiences in places like Iraq and Afghanistan. The idea for this novel has been simmering for years. It was one of the concepts I wanted to explore when I first spread all my executive summaries out on a table in 2014, studying them to decide which would become my first novel as I was getting ready to leave the SEAL teams. I decided on The Terminal List, but The Fourth Option would not leave me. Then, in the summer of 2021, in our final days of filming The Terminal List for Prime Video in Los Angeles, I took some time to write out a few ideas for possible books, television shows, and movies outside the James Reese Terminal List universe, and I revisited The Fourth Option, now more thoroughly fleshed out on the page. That fall, I turned that robust executive summary into a 40-page PowerPoint presentation with actors attached to characters, location photos, and stills from films and television shows to capture the mood of the project. I started the treatment with these words: when law enforcement, the courts, and the prison system fail, there is a fourth and final option. I thought of The Fourth Option as a modern tribute to the 1950s, 1960s television show Have Gun, Will Travel, and the classic stranger comes to town narrative that so resonated with me as a kid watching westerns with my dad. I bought the full Have Gun, Will Travel DVD box set at the PX in Baghdad in 2004. They remain in my collection today. Richard Boone stars as Paladin, a Civil War veteran and gun for hire. The White Knight chess piece was his symbol and featured heavily in the opening credits. It was on his holster, business card, and one of his rifles. It made such an impression that I had the Knight chess piece incorporated into business cards I made up for my platoon in the wake of September 11th, 2001. They were emblazoned with Steve McQueen's line in The Magnificent Seven, "We deal in lead, friend. SEAL Team 5 Delta Platoon Scout Snipers." An idea inspired by Stephen Hunter's masterpiece, Point of Impact. I thought we might use them the way Bob Lee Swagger does in that book. We never did. I still have one of the cards. Though the fourth option is firmly seated in the mythology of Paladin and the Old West, it is also an homage to some of the other books, television shows,